ever feel like no matter how much sleep you get, it's never enough? Especially if you're like most teenagers out there juggling a ton, like school, maybe a job, sports, hanging out with friends, trying to, stay active and fit.
It really is a puzzle. Figuring out how much sleep you actually need can feel super overwhelming,
Yeah.
especially during those teenage years, right?
Yeah, totally.
Your body's changing so much. And today, we're going to take a deep dive into all of that.
Hmm?
We're going to unpack the crucial role of sleep, specifically for teenagers, especially teenagers who are, physically active.
Yeah, if you're the kind of person who's always on the move.
Exactly. We're going to break it all down, why it matters, how much you need. So we got some really interesting research and expert insights to guide us on this.
Awesome.
And our mission here is to give you, the listener, a clear understanding of why sleep is so incredibly important for your growth, your development, and of course, if you're an athlete, your performance.
It's not just about like avoiding that afternoon slump,
Right.
right? We're talking about some pretty fundamental stuff happening while you sleep.
Exactly.
Like, muscle recovery, brain function, hormones, your immune system.
Everything.
Yeah, it's all connected.
Everything gets affected. Absolutely.
So the big question is, are you actually getting enough?
Right.
So we always hear that teenagers need like 8 to 10 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Is that like really the magic number?
It's a good starting point. Yeah. For
Mhm.
teenagers between 13 and 19, that 8 to 10 hour range it's not just a random number.
Right.
It's based on the fact that your body is going through so much growth and development during these years.
Yeah, like it's almost like your body and brain are working overtime.
They are.
And sleep is when they can finally catch up and repair.
Exactly. And it's not just about like feeling less tired.
Yeah.
It's crucial for muscle recovery if you've been training, working out.
Yeah.
It's when your brain actually consolidates memories.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So it's really important for learning. And then, of course, it's when your hormones regulate, like growth hormone and testosterone, super
Right.
important. And then your immune system also gets a boost from good sleep.
So what about for people who are, pretty active, like hitting the gym regularly, playing sports, that kind of thing?
Right. Well, if you're more active, that sleep target actually goes up.
Really?
Yeah. You need at least 9 to 10 hours each night to really support your recovery and your performance.
Wow. Okay. So if you're like consistently getting less than that, like let's say 7 or 8 hours,
Right.
are you going to like really see a difference in how your muscles recover and just your overall performance?
You absolutely will. Yeah. It's like if you're trying to build a house, but you only have half the materials,
Yeah.
right, you're not going to get very far.
Makes sense.
And then if you're someone who's really pushing it, training heavily, maybe doing 2-a-days, lifting weights 5-6 times a week, even more sleep is going to be beneficial.
Wow, even more.
Yeah. Aim for, potentially even more than 10 hours. It might sound like a lot,
It does sound like a lot.
but it's really important because your body needs that extra downtime when you're pushing it that hard.
So why is that? Like, what exactly is going on in our bodies when we sleep, especially after a tough workout?
Well, there are 5 main reasons why more sleep is so essential after exercise. And they all work together to help you recover and get stronger.
Okay.
So first up is muscle repair and growth. We talked about this a bit earlier. When you exercise, you create tiny tears in your muscle fibers.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. And during sleep, your body releases growth hormone, which helps repair those tears and build the muscles back stronger.
Okay. So, like, literally while you're sleeping, your muscles are actually getting bigger and stronger.
Exactly. It's pretty
Yeah.
amazing.
Wow.
So you're actually getting stronger while you're resting.
Yeah.
And then number 2 is nervous system recovery. It's not just your muscles that get tired. It's your whole nervous system. Your brain, your spinal cord, they're all working hard during exercise.
Yeah, they are.
And sleep allows your nervous system to recover so that your reaction time, your coordination, your focus, all of that is sharp.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's like if your brain hasn't had a chance to, like, reset,
Right.
you're not going to be, like, as on point, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, what's number 3?
All right. Number 3 is energy replenishment. Your muscles use glycogen for energy, right?
Yeah, I've heard of glycogen.
And during sleep, your body replenishes those glycogen stores.
Okay.
So if you're getting enough sleep, you're starting your next workout with a full tank of gas.
Okay, so you're, like, refueling your muscles while you sleep.
Exactly. Exactly.
Cool.
All right. And then number 4 is a big one. Testosterone and hormonal balance.
I was wondering when we were going to get to the hormones.
Yeah. So testosterone and growth hormone, they both peak during deep sleep.
Mm.
And they're crucial for building muscle, losing fat, and increasing strength.
So, like, if you're not sleeping enough, it could actually be messing with your gains.
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's a pretty direct link. And what's the last reason?
Last but not least, a stronger immune system. Intense exercise can temporarily suppress your immune system, making you more susceptible to getting sick.
Okay.
But sleep helps to counteract that by giving your body a chance to recover and rebuild its defenses.
So it's like a whole system reboot.
It is.
It's not just about feeling less tired. It's about
Right.
giving your body the chance to, like, repair and rebuild everything.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm looking at the information we have here, and it seems like they have specific sleep recommendations for different levels of activity.
Oh, that's interesting, yeah. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so for people who are lightly active, maybe they just incorporate some walking or general movement into their day, but they're not doing any, like, intense workouts.
Okay.
The recommendation is 8 to 9 hours of sleep.
Gotcha.
But if you're doing moderate training, like 3 to 4 times a week,
Yeah.
that bumps up to 9 to 10 hours. And then if you're training heavily, like 5 to 6 times a week or more,
Right.
then you're looking at 10 plus hours.
Wow. So that 9 to 10, even 10 plus range is really the sweet spot for people who are serious about their fitness.
Right. And they make a pretty strong point that consistently getting less than 7 hours can really have a negative impact. You could see weaker recovery, more fatigue, more injuries, even worse performance.
Makes sense. You're not giving your body enough time to repair and rebuild.
Right. So we've talked a lot about the good stuff that happens when you get enough sleep.
Right.
But what about the flip side?
Yeah.
What happens when you don't get enough sleep?
Yeah.
Especially if you're, working out regularly.
Well, there's a whole list of not so fun consequences.
Okay.
First of all, your muscles will recover more slowly, so you won't see the gains from your workouts as quickly,
Yeah.
and you'll be sore for longer.
Ooh, I don't like the sound of that.
It does. And then you'll also notice weaker strength and endurance overall because your body just doesn't have the energy reserves.
Right, like it's hard to push yourself when you're exhausted all the time.
It is. And then you're also way more likely to feel fatigued and irritable.
Makes sense.
When you're sleep deprived, your brain just doesn't function as well.
Yeah.
So you might experience mood swings, have trouble concentrating, and just feel a lack of motivation.
Yeah, which makes it even harder to stick to a workout routine.
Exactly. And on top of that, your risk of injury goes up.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah. Because sleep deprivation can impair your coordination and judgment. So you're more likely to make mistakes that can lead to injuries.
That makes a lot of sense.
And then, like we talked about before, you'll also see lower levels of testosterone and growth hormone.
Right, because that production peaks during sleep, right?
Right.
So if you're not sleeping enough, you're basically sabotaging your own muscle growth and fat loss.
Pretty much.
Man.
And lastly, your reaction time will be slower, which is important for, well, pretty much everything, but especially if you're an athlete.
Yeah, totally. Like, you need to be able to think fast and react quickly on the field or the court.
Absolutely.
So there's a study that really highlighted this, with basketball players.
Oh, yeah. What did it say?
It showed that when they increased their sleep to 10 hours a night,
Okay.
they actually saw significant improvements in their speed, their accuracy, and their reaction time
Interesting.
compared to when they were only getting like 6 or 7 hours.
Wow. So that's a pretty big difference.
Right. It's like a real tangible example of how sleep can impact your athletic performance.
That is fascinating.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense, though, right? Because if you're well rested, your body and your mind can just function at a higher level.
Totally. Okay. So, knowing all this, what are some things that teenagers can actually do to improve their sleep quality, especially after a tough workout?
There are actually a lot of simple but effective strategies.
Okay, great. Let's hear them.
First, try to stick to a consistent sleep schedule.
Okay.
Go to bed and wake up around the same time every day, even on the weekends. This helps to regulate your body's natural sleep-wake cycle.
Yeah, like your body likes routine. Right.
Exactly. And then another thing is to avoid screens for at least 30 to 60 minutes before bed.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I know. It's hard, but it's important.
Yeah.
Because the blue light emitted from those devices can actually suppress melatonin production, which is the hormone that helps you fall asleep.
Okay, so no scrolling through TikTok right before bed.
Right.
Got it. What else?
Well, make sure your bedroom is cool,
Okay.
ideally between 60 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit.
Right.
A cooler room temperature has been linked to better sleep quality, especially deeper sleep.
Interesting.
And then caffeine. Try to limit or avoid caffeine after around 4 p.m.
Okay.
because it can stay in your system for hours and interfere with your sleep.
So like that afternoon energy drink might be backfiring later on.
Exactly.
Got it.
And then another thing you can do is incorporate some relaxing activities into your evening routine,
Oh, okay.
like stretching or deep breathing exercises. This can help to ease muscle tension and calm your mind before bed.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like just kind of wind down.
Exactly. Oh, and one more thing I found interesting. The research suggests having a small protein-rich snack before bed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, a hard-boiled egg, or a handful of nuts.
Okay.
The protein can help with muscle repair overnight.
Wow, I never thought of that.
Yeah, it's a cool little tip.
So a cool, dark, quiet room, consistent sleep schedule, no screens before bed, maybe a little protein snack.
Exactly.
Got it.
And no caffeine after 4 p.m.
Right.
So, just to recap, the general sleep recommendation for teenagers is 8 to 10 hours.
Right.
But if you're physically active, you should aim for 9 to 10 hours. And if you're training heavily, even more than that, 10 plus hours.
Right. And the main takeaway here is that the more intensely you train, the more sleep you need.
Exactly. Because without enough sleep, your strength, your endurance, your recovery, your muscle growth, it all suffers. Prioritizing sleep is just as important as your training and nutrition when it comes to maximizing your performance and achieving your fitness goals.
Yeah, it's not just an afterthought. It's a crucial part of the equation.
Absolutely.
So for everyone listening, think about your own sleep habits.
Yeah.
Are you getting enough sleep based on how active you are?
What could you change tonight to maybe get a little bit more sleep, a little bit better sleep?
Yeah, make sleep a priority. It's worth it.
It is.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.